So once again, without fail, whenever I step out to do something fun in the afternoon, Rick Spielman, every motherfucking time, just like, dropping big news, deuce. And so now, it wasn't unexpected, right? Because we knew that Riley Reiff had the ultimatum, and we had everything ready to go for the Riley Reiff being cut, because it did seem a fait accompli, 99.9% that Riley Reiff was going to be cut. But all of a sudden, Dewey defeats Truman, other way around, and then Riley Reiff reconsiders and restructures and rejoins the Minnesota Fighting Vikings. But of course. So full numbers on the deal aren't yet. I'm sure it's pretty basic. Probably whittles his contract down this season. Base salary is down. Vikings save a couple $1 million in salary cap, which is great to have since they had none. Now, the terms pay cut and restructure get tossed around too interchangeably. So restructure is basically just a shifting of the current existing contract. Doesn't affect the total number that the player gets. Pay cut is a pay cut, but often a pay cut is characterized as restructure, and that's what pissed me off this entire time. Is like the national media jabroni is like, oh, Riley Reiff restructured all this, all that. So now it is 100% a pay cut. I mean, it has to be. So, because if it wasn't, why take a day to mull it over, as well as skip 2 practices, by the way? I'm sure your teammates really appreciate that. But, I mean, restructures are generally written into players' contracts where they don't even need, a team doesn't even need their permission. It's like, so Eric Kendricks has been restructured. Danielle Hunter has been restructured. And what it is you take your base salary for the season, and then it gets converted into a roster bonus. So it's like, so say a player was supposed to make $10 million as a base salary this year, so they'll reduce it down to 2. So you get $8 million today as a roster bonus. And if you're a player, you're kind of okay with that. So again, this was not a restructure. This was a pay cut. But again, that's just a pet peeve of mine. Anyway, so why did Riley Reiff restructure? Well, it's of course because he's a team player and he sees what the Vikings are building here, and he wants to stay with Gary Kubiak and Rick Dennison, and he believes in the movement of what the Vikings are doing here. And probably not. Otherwise, he probably would have made that choice yesterday. But it's a week and a half before the season, and frankly, yesterday, I'm sure his agent was like gauging the market out there, calling up the Eagles, calling up the Broncos, calling up the Chargers, be like, hey, if and when my client is released, how much are you going to give us? All right, and probably what they heard back was not a lot. So the restructure number, again, God, I just did it myself. The pay cut number is not out as of yet, but I'm sure that the offers that they were gauging in the hypothetical scenario that Riley Reiff was let go was going to be either equivalent or less. And even equivalent deals, I feel like Riley Reiff looked at that as like, all right, new locker room, have to pass COVID protocol, new playbook, new teammates, probably take a couple weeks to get up to speed. It's like 10 days before the start of the season. I'd have to move. My kids would have to change schools, all this, all that. Nah. And that was the leverage that the Vikings had, because I think the Vikings did their homework. They accurately gauged what Riley Reiff could fetch in the market, and then they offered a pay cut number which was close, which was going to be in the ballpark, and frankly a number that he couldn't refuse. So I think the Vikings went about this in a half-cocked manner. They really did, and we've seen this before, because Spielman, he likes to do this, where he'll take an offensive lineman, veteran offensive lineman whose contract is not guaranteed, and then turn the screws on them on the eve of training camp, just like they tried to do with Riley Reiff here. They did that with John Sullivan 2016, Alex Boone 2017, etc. But I mean, the Vikings went half-cocked in this because the plan came out of nowhere. So the plan just materialized on Sunday when Riley Reiff and Rashad Hill had Veterans Days. So then it was like, oh, yeah, Brian O'Neill switch a left tackle. So zero steam about this at all at any point during the offseason. All of a sudden, hey, you know that guy who's really developed into one of the best right tackles in the game? If it ain't broke, break it. So we're going to switch him to left tackle, and then we're going to start Rashad Hill. Hey, you know the guy who lost his job to rookie Brian O'Neill 2 years ago? Hey, that guy. He's completely changed in 2 years. As well as, I really love the press conferences today of Rick Dennison. Where it's, Rashad Hill's really good. Okay, yeah. Way to big sell us on this plan. It's great. So, but now, I mean, if the plan had included grooming Ezra Cleveland at left tackle, which he's going to be a left tackle. He is not going to be a guard. This is stupid. Then it would have been more believable. It's like, oh, Ezra Cleveland working at second team left tackle all off season, all training camp. It's like, oh, he's nipping at the heels of Riley Reiff. Then you would have had some real leverage on Riley Reiff as opposed to manufactured one. But I think Spielman got too cute here. It still got the job done. I don't think the story was that believable at all. Although I was sort of in on it. Brian O'Neill left tackle, Olu Udoh eventually replacing Rashad Hill after 2 weeks because Rashad Hill is bad. Yeah, but either way, I'm fine with it. It frees up some salary cap. One more season of Riley Reiff, which, again, he's perfectly average, but he does need to step his ass up in big-time games against big-time competition. Otherwise, his team is going nowhere. It does keep Brian O'Neill at right tackle. So the dream continues. But hell, maybe it'll be Ezra Cleveland left tackle that kick Reiff into a guard spot. So maybe that was part of the pay cut, not restructure. But all right, so that's why Riley Reiff restructured. What are your thoughts? Why did he do it? Let us know in the comments section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support that work? Post on the Venmo. But until next time, Skull Production Value.